Greetings fellow traders, this is Max and welcome to my Sunday market analysis where I'm gonna analyze the market and share with you my top trades for the upcoming week. And as you can see, I've got quite a good amount of pairs on my watch list. And those are all pairs with really interesting trade setups for the coming week that I would like to share with you now. I'm really excited for this week because as you can see, there are just many potential trades. Some I will be more careful with, but some are absolutely beautiful that I am super interested in trading. So let's start right here with the pair AUD-JPY. So let's start on the weekly chart here. So we can see we've been in a weekly uptrend and now we've had a correction last week, a really major correction. A lot of those pairs had gigantic moves last week. So on the daily chart, I can see that we had the breakout here and we came back into the area, which is a round psychological level and also an area of interest. This area has been a resistance and I'm looking for it to turn into support now. So on the low time frame, like the daily chart here, you can see this is kind of forming a double top formation and we broke the neckline now of the double top. So I have scenarios in mind of what could happen next. One scenario is that we will have a neutral day here, grabbing some more liquidity, but then having a shift structure on the lower time frame for the price to head to the upside again on AUD-JPY. The alternative is that this happens regardless. However, it will just experience some resistance here at the neckline of this double top and then continue to the downside. But if it does, then I am looking for a weekly candlestick that comes down back into this area here, which is also a round psychological level and an area of interest. If you invert the chart, we can spot that this is kind of a weekly head and shoulders pattern. And in this case, an inverted one. So that means that this is not just a shift of structure or just a change of the direction the price might go. It obviously did. And now I'm looking for a retest of this neckline to then enter a potential long position here. But this is going to take a couple more weeks and it's not going to happen this week. So for this week, I'm only looking for a potential long position here. Since a new month started, it's also worth looking at the monthly candlestick and we can see a new monthly candlestick formed here. And the recent one broke above this area here and now we had in the beginning of that monthly candlestick we had a correction to this area here and now I expect it to potentially bounce. The next pair on my list is AUD-USD. So we start here right on the monthly chart and the recent month has been a red one. So for me it is, in my opinion, quite likely that the next could be a green one and we're starting off already with some green candle forming here. On the weekly chart, however, we can see that there has been a candle close below this area and it left quite a nice wick here. And if we go to the even lower time frame, the daily chart, then we can see a almost very perfect and textbook like head and shoulders pattern. And the head and shoulders pattern is usually a reversal pattern. And the head and shoulders itself a bearish pattern. If it was inverted, then in this context it would be a bullish pattern. However, in this case it is a bearish pattern. So I'm looking primarily for a short opportunity here when the price comes back into the area, grabbing some of the liquidity, maybe entering the stop zone here and then showing the necessary weakness for me to open a short position on AUD-USD. However, the candlestick formation here is a morning star and the morning star is usually also a reversal pattern, which would make sense with the retest of this neckline for me to enter then a short position. However, this could also just mean that the price would break above this area, retest it and then head to the upside. If that's what's going to happen, then I am looking for a long position here to trade the continuation to the upside. But primarily, this is for me a sign for price to have a correction, looking for a short position here, maybe in 2 or 3 days, and then I'm going to sell AUD-USD and I hope the price will continue to the downside. So that's my trading plan for AUD-USD. And the next pair is Euro-AUD. So Euro-AUD, I've been here in 2 trades and got stopped out both times, which is really unfortunate because those were long trades. And what you can see here now is the price absolutely exploded to the upside and I would be in profit again. That can absolutely happen and it will happen again throughout my trading journey. Absolutely. There's no doubt that this will happen again. You just have to deal with it and it is what it is. However, I do not see that this trade is gone already. I see a new potential entry here. I have to say I do not really like the weekly candlestick setup because it left this gigantic wick below this area here and I could expect that the next weekly candlestick will be a bearish one again, filling this wick. However, on the daily chart we can see we kind of broke this dynamic resistance line here. It broke it really aggressively. I do not jump in right away. So I am waiting for price to come back into the area here, and specifically the around psychological level. And if you look closely here, what you can spot is again a head and shoulders pattern. It broke the neckline. Now I'm waiting for a retest of the neckline, the shifter structure indicating the weakness here, to then buy again Euro AUD and hope for price to continue to the upside with an ultimate profit target. Yeah, I could totally, on a swing trade basis, I can totally see price getting up or getting as high as the 1.85 round psychological level. But for now, it's time to be patient and wait for price to have a correction back into the area to then enter a long position in the coming week. If it doesn't happen, I'm just going to skip this trade and the price will continue without me being in the trade. If you look at the monthly chart, I'm even more confident that this might continue to the upside. We have this gigantic wick here on the monthly chart, which could totally get filled in my opinion. And the recent monthly candlestick was a red one, but a rather neutral one. It didn't have a major correction. And now this month is starting as a really nice green candle. So I am still very interested in a long position. Next pair is EuroCAD, and very similar to all we had so far. My first idea was to look for a short position here, but as you can see, after we broke the neckline of this double top, the retest was kind of a lot higher than I expected it to be. So of course price could show the potential weakness now, but even on the weekly chart, it has left a really big wick which could be getting filled. However, it still closed above this area. So I am looking for, and even on the monthly chart, it's very similar to Euro AUD. I believe that this is a failed retest, and I'm waiting for price now to come back into the area here, give me a really nice strong bullish signal to then buy EuroCAD. And another very popular or famous pattern is the cup and handle pattern, and that's kind of what's forming here. This is a cup, this is probably going to be the handle, and if there's the strong bullish signal, then I'm looking for opening a buy position here on EuroCAD. But it's again time for some patience. I will wait for the London session to start on Monday before I open any position, but this is going to be my trading plan for EuroCAD. And on to the next pair, which is GBP JPY. So here you can see this gigantic engulfing daily candlestick, and this is indicating to me that there is some bearish pressure now entering the market. Also kind of again a head and shoulders pattern. You have the left shoulder, you have the head, and then you have the right shoulder. It broke the neckline, and now I'm effectively waiting for a retest of this neckline here. So on the weekly chart, we even rejected this area, which has been resistance actually almost 3 times here, and now this is happening again. So this is some extra confirmation to me that there might be some more bearish power in the market now for the GBP pair, so the GBP JPY pair in specific. We had a monthly candlestick that closed as kind of a hammer, but at the top, which is sometimes indicating a price reversal. And this is why I am looking now for price to come back into the area, sweep some of the liquidity, show me the weakness that I want to see. That might take a couple days, maybe until Friday. Maybe this trade will not give me my sell opportunity until the end of the week. Then I will have a look at this trade for next week again. If it takes its time, or if it comes back into the zone and it's showing me the weakness, then I'm interested in opening a short position on GBP JPY. Now let's go to the next pair, the GBP USD pair. So also really similar. A lot of GBP pairs are experiencing some bearish power now, and I think the GBP USD pair just moved so beautifully as if it was from a textbook, and now I'm actually expecting a textbook head and shoulders pattern and trade. So I'm waiting now for price to come back into the area here of the neckline. I want to see it sweep some of the liquidity, retest it, show me the weakness to then sell GBP USD. On the weekly, we've closed below, we've left this gigantic wick, so I expect a wick up now, which is effectively this retest and then a continuation to the downside. However, again, kind of a morning star formation, which is a bullish signal in this context. It does make sense, because I expect price to return now into the area here. But overall, this pair has moved really clean, and even in the past it did that. So I believe the success rate is quite good here with this pattern setup. So I'm really excited for that. Probably one of my most favorite pairs out of all the ones that I have marked here. So fairly simple trade. I do not think I have to go into detail with the head and shoulders pattern there. Of course, if we look at the weekly chart, we can see that this has been a support area and resistance area, and it could totally be that the price on the lower time frame kind of had a retest, even though it's not a really clean retest, which is why I did not enter at that time during last week, because the price just hadn't reached the actual area here and swept some of the liquidity. So I expect that it could do it now, and then we'll continue to the downside. Yeah, potential first profit target being the low here, but if it moves like that, I could totally expect it to move even lower throughout a couple of weeks and giving a really nice profit with this move. Even the monthly chart, we had a gigantic correction here on the monthly, which is it has been engulfing the last 2 months. But yeah, now that could be maybe a neutral month, or maybe it's just a month that's gonna engulf this month again, and then it will continue to the upside. Those are all the scenarios that could happen, but I will stick to the head and shoulders pattern now, which has been really reliable for me. So I'm primarily looking for a short position. Next pair on my list, and almost the last pair, is USD CAD. This is also a really nice pair for me, so I would like to start here. Let's see, why not starting on the monthly chart? So we have this kind of it is an engulfing monthly candlestick. We closed above here. That was the recent month, and now I could expect the next month to be green. We have this month starting as a wick down, where it's building the candle and getting some of the liquidity that's around this area here, which is really good, because if I look on the weekly, we've closed above this area here, the round psychological level and the area of interest, which has been resistance, support, and recently also resistance, and now I hope it's turning into support again. We have left a really nice wick, which I expect to be getting filled now. The next weekly candlestick might start with a wick down again, which is then my retest that I am anticipating. You can see the round psychological level, the clear resistance area. Now I want to see it becoming support, sweep some of the liquidity, show me the bullish formation for USD CAD to buy it and open a long position. If I invert it again, we can see a inverse head and shoulders pattern again, or in this case, if I invert it, it's just a normal head and shoulders pattern, reversal pattern, in this context even bullish because it's inverted. So there are just so many factors in my favor. So I would say this is probably one of my, or actually the most favorite setups out of all for the coming week to open a long position on USD CAD and profit off of the move to the upside, because there are just so many factors in confluence here. So really beautiful setup for me on USD CAD. Now the final pair for this week is USD CHF, and it's quite similar to the USD CAD pair, but still USD CAD probably my most favorite so far. We have a nice weekly wick here. However, we did not really close above this area, and monthly wise, this was not really a strong green monthly close. And now of course we closed above the area still on the monthly, and this might just be the retest of this area now, but I am looking for, this is kind of a double bottom pattern here, or then if I invert it again, a double top, maybe more common. And retest of the neckline, showing the weakness, and then continuation to the downside or to the upside in this context here. So fairly simple shift the structure and break and retest here. So I am looking for a potential long position, but I will be careful with this trade and this setup because it does not give me as many factors on why it might continue to the upside now as USD CAD did. But this is still a setup that I will keep an eye on and then make a decision on whether I want to open a long position or not. I've analyzed the other pairs as well and set certain alarms there. However, I believe those pairs are a really nice set of potential trades that I will keep an eye on. So even if one of those alarms is getting triggered on the other pairs, I will definitely have a look at those. Maybe there's a new trading opportunity coming up, but for now I will definitely focus on all those pairs here on my list. If you want to get notified whenever a new trade opportunity is aligning, and if you want to get regular trade updates on the trades that I am currently in or when I open and close a trade, you can just join my free Telegram channel. I will put the link to it into the video description. You will also find a link to my other socials there. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I will try to answer your questions. Thank you for watching. I wish you a successful trading week. Remember to manage your risk properly and see you next Sunday.